Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This video is just going to be a video about my PS4 game collection. I'm going to be showing you all the games that I've collected so far and be giving a little bit of my thoughts on each game. My collection isn't the hugest. Video games are very expensive. At least in my opinion they are. And the money does add up. But I am very happy with the games that I've collected so far. And if you like any of the games that I have, then let me know. In addition to these actual copies of the games, I have a few games downloaded onto my PS4. I'm going to show the first two games together because they are from the same franchise. So the first two games are just first-person shooters. Or can anybody guess? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, as well as Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I haven't played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare too much. I have played Call of Duty Black Ops 3 quite a bit, and I do really like this game. The class that I picked was I don't even remember which one it was, but it's the one with the Asian girl because I thought she was really pretty. It's such a great reason to pick a class, right? Because the character is pretty. Call of Duty, I'm not like a super hardcore Call of Duty fan. I just play it once in a while. If I want to mindlessly play a game and if I feel a little bit competitive, then I will bust out a Call of Duty. Now the next game is also a shooter, and that game is Killzone Shadowfall. Now the next game is probably a franchise that a lot of people love. I remember as a little girl watching my uncle play these games. They were just too complicated for my little mind back then, so I would usually just run around in the mansion. And that game is Tomb Raider. I'm not sure if this is the first game where they stopped making her look like Angelina Jolie. If you want like a Tomb Raider, definitely is a game that I recommend to those of you that want a little bit of a challenge. The next game I was super excited for because it does remind me a lot of another game that I really like, and that is Dark Souls. Because I said Dark Souls, you can probably guess what this game is, and the game is Bloodborne. Now to me, Bloodborne is kind of just an easier version of Dark Souls. Maybe if you've never played a Dark Souls game before or not familiar with the antics of those type of games, then get Bloodborne first and then go into the Dark Souls series. I did find Bloodborne to be a lot easier. Maybe that's because I was already used to the kind of the gimmicks that the game has. But it's just, like I said, an easier version of Dark Souls. It has its own gothic aesthetic to it. It's very nice. The whole design of the game is gorgeous. Next game here is also a game that I was very excited for. It is a horror game. I'm not too good with playing horror games by myself, so I haven't yet beat it. So I haven't yet beat it yet, but I haven't yet beat the game yet. How do I say that? The Evil Within. Maybe I'll cheat and watch a playthrough of it so that it'll be a little bit easier for me. It has a great design to it. It's very terrifying. I hate that spider girl in the beginning. Now the next game is one of my favorite games of all time. I have spent so many hours on this game playing factions. The story is just so moving, and that game is The Last of Us. The Last of Us 2 was just announced, and I cannot wait for it to be released. I know it's going to be an amazing game, probably going to be a very heartbreaking game. This game has provided me with hours and hours of playtime, and if you want a game that would be really good to play with buddies, then you can team up in a team of 4 and play factions. Now the next game I have is a fighter game, and the game is Street Fighter V. The Street Fighter franchise is very well known, and it's a very respected game. It's a fighter that you can't just button smash on. You kind of need to have certain characters' combos memorized. Usually what people do is they pick a main character and then they just learn their combos. That's the character that they use all the time. For example, if I play Street Fighter, I usually always pick Cammy. You can't just button smash on Street Fighter. You really need to learn the combos, because if you don't have their combos memorized and you just button smash, the Street Fighter characters become very stiff. It can be a frustrating game if you go online and have a lot of practice. Go against some experienced players, you likely will lose, and it'll be pretty embarrassing. Like, that is the case for me. Nonetheless, it is an amazing game. Now the next game I was also like super hyped about because the trailer just looked beautiful. The whole concept of the game is really interesting. Unfortunately, my expectations for it were higher than the actual game itself. And once I beat the game, I didn't play it again after that. And that game is The Division. I feel that this game could have been so much more than what it was. Each mission was very repetitive. It was fun, you know, just shooting at stuff and collecting items. I believe they've added on a lot of add-ons and different things, but I haven't gone back on the game, like I said, since I beat it. I do like the game, but that's it. I don't love it. All I do is I just like it. The next game I have is Doom. Next game I have is one that I'm currently working on beating, Final Fantasy XV. Players have been waiting for this game for so long because they announced it like way back then when they announced Lightning's game. They originally called it Final Fantasy Versus. At least I assumed. I don't know if everybody else did, but I assumed that it was going to be Noctis and Lightning versus each other. They didn't give us a whole lot of information, but that wasn't the case at all. Both characters ended up having their own individual games. And finally, the last game that I own is also a horror game. I'm also playing it right now at this moment. Not this moment exactly, I'm making the video right now, but you know what I mean. And that game is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I'm pretty in love with this game so far. It is so fun. And it gets me so like on edge. I hate playing it on my own. I usually don't play it by myself. If I do, it'll be in daylight hours. But if I'm playing it at night with the lights off, then I have to have somebody there with me. Currently, I'm just game sharing it with a friend of mine, and he watches me play, kind of like our own little personal playthrough of the game. I actually am already stuck on a part. I don't have no idea what to do. And there's these black glob things everywhere, so it's just terrifying me. And I'm like, ugh. It's probably a must-have for all game collectors. You must have this game in your collection. So this is all the PS4 games that I own, guys. It is a pretty cute little game collection, and I'm super happy with all of them. I'm grateful that I have the money to be able to buy these games. In the future, I most definitely will be making more collection videos of other games and stuff that I collect. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.